Well, from New York City, this 2K Classic third-place game will be a clash of styles if ever there was one. VCU taking on the Wisconsin Badgers. You know how Wisconsin wants to get it done. VCU wants to rock and roll and rack up those possessions. So this is going to be very, very interesting to watch. And Melvin Johnson can shoot it from the Empire State Building, the 6'4" senior out of the Bronx, New York. So he's a New York kid getting to play inside the Garden against Wisconsin. We look forward to it. VCU and Wisconsin, the last game of this event. That'll be coming up at 3:41. Right now, back to Todd in the studio. We're winding down our stay here in New York City. We welcome you back to the 2K Classic, all part of Feast Week presented by Lowe's. The final game, the third-place game, the national runner-up, Wisconsin taking on VCU. Seth Greenberg in the house, along with yours truly, Dave O'Brien. Coach, great to be alongside with you. And what a contrast between how these two like to go to the basket and try and score.
Yeah, two teams that want to impose their will and their systems on the game. And for VCU, it's all about playing at warp speed, attacking offensively and defensively. They want to play fast, they want to play furious, and they want to put Wisconsin on their heels. For Wisconsin, they need to control the tempo of the game. Not let the pressure speed them up, but they must pass and catch and make good decisions. Look for VCU to try to take them out of offense.
A lot of folks came to New York thinking it might be Nigel Hayes and Wisconsin taking on the Duke Blue Devils for the championship. That did not happen. Duke has won the title, the 2K, for the second time in their school history in what was a terrific basketball game against Georgetown. You're right there on the sideline for the entire thing. That was a lot of fun.
Really good basketball game. Grayson Allen obviously has responded after that Kentucky game.
32 points today, the MVP of the tournament. We're underway. VCU in the white with the basketball. The Rams at 2-1 coming in. Wisconsin at 2-2. Here's Burgess trying to get close to the iron, but can't get there. There's Melvin Johnson, who has maybe the best shooting range of any of the four teams in this tournament as we came to New York.
He's a big-time shooter. He's shot ready. He's made 13 threes, more than the rest of their basketball team.
Mo Alley-Cox with their first basket. Seeing some of the pressure here. Are they going to press as much as we've seen in the past, VCU?
They will, but they'll be a little bit differently. They'll press some diamond and one, looking for one trap, and then they'll just play some man-to-man full court, trying to disrupt Wisconsin's rhythm.
Bronson Koenig with it here. The 6'4" junior is going to be so huge for the Badgers, but he's off to a chilly start as that one is tossed out of play by Wisconsin and Ethan Happ. Will Wade is the young head coach, 32 years old. For the VCU Rams, he was Shaka Smart's first assistant coach hired back in 2009. And he got a head job of his own, and now back to VCU.
And Havoc still lives at VCU. It's just in Will Wade's own personality.
Koenig with shot clock winding down, will drain the three, and they need more of that. He was 2 for 12 shooting it against Georgetown on Friday.
Really important for him to come out aggressive and look to score. They need him to score to be competitive.
Johnson came into New York averaging 18.5 points a game. Can't find the range there. Rebounded away by the Badgers, who are a very young team. They have 8 freshmen. Nobody in the United States. Division I has more than 8. And a whistle and a foul right on the baseline. Stops the clock at 18:32 to go in the first half.
This is interesting for Wisconsin to start. Not a lot of teams in the Big Ten Conference that play like this. Minnesota is the lone wolf in terms of a team that's going to attack you defensively for 40 minutes.
There's Nigel Hayes, a 6'8" junior, who had 22 against the Hoyas in a losing cause. Happ got it to go. He's making about 60% of his shots, and they all come right there.
Really good job. VCU had him catching a little bit too deep right there.
Traveling violation there on Jaquan Lewis. And Bo Ryan in his 15th year at Wisconsin, but 32nd year coaching. 359 wins at Wisconsin and 2 magical seasons, back-to-back Final Fours.
Bo knows you don't foul, you don't turn it over, you make sure you set your defensive transition and you get a good shot. Pretty good formula.
Over the top Hayes, but off his fingertips and out of play. So Wisconsin with a rare turnover.
Had 14 the other night against Georgetown. They must pass and catch and take care of the basketball. You can't have empty possessions, especially against a pressing team, and expect to win.
And Wisconsin's already suffered a stunning loss. That came to Western Illinois in their opener. That'll fall in for Lewis. A nice touch.
Lewis has struggled shooting from the three-point line. He's got to get in the lane and make plays downhill.
Very quick point guard, a junior out of Tennessee. Back out for Showalter, inside for Vito Brown, who has a feathery touch for two. And a velvet voice. Great singing voice.
He's making music on the court. You're making music with your mic.
7-4. Wisconsin with the lead. Tillman with a leaner. And that clangs away off the backboard. So out of play it goes with 17-12 remaining in the first half. And here comes Michael Gilmore, the nephew of the great Artis Gilmore. Pretty good shooter, too, 6'10" out of Jacksonville.
Step out and shoot the three, and I think right there, Coach Wade is saying the ball's getting too deep. We've got to defend the post. Gilmore can protect the front of the rim.
Well, the Badgers last season with just an amazing season, 36-4, a school record for victories, 16-2 in the rugged Big Ten. Down low, it's Happ to strike for a pair.
Well, Ryan running Nigel Hayes right to the block. I really believe he's most effective down there, letting him play out of that.
Johnson with a wild pass. Gilmore could not handle. So the Rams turn it over. Back to that give moments ago.
Nigel Hayes really patient, waiting on a double team. When you get doubled, you've got to find the open man. Good job of Happ getting to the front of the rim.
When you look at Wisconsin, what do they have to do to get better at this point? We're not talking about a Final Four team necessarily this year, like all the talent that they had the last couple of seasons. Happ spinning inside, but he'll draw the foul. What do you see as a main area they need to get better in?
Wisconsin's first and foremost, they've got to find a third scoring option to take a little pressure off Bronson Koenig and Nigel Hayes. The other thing they've got to do is they've got to defend the basketball. They don't have a rim protector anymore. So you can't give up dribble penetration. If you can guard the ball, keep on the perimeter, and then another offensive player steps up, Wisconsin will be relevant.
Well, Ali Cox with a foul to put Happ to the line, but he misses on the first one. Of course, Kaminsky and Decker both gone to the NBA, both taken inside the first 20 picks. AP Player of the Year in Frank, and in Decker, a second-team All-Big Ten and 14 points a game.
Was there a more fun player in college basketball to follow last year than Frank Kaminsky?
No, there wasn't.
Frank the Tank was the real deal. Yeah. I mean, like, if you didn't like Frank Kaminsky, that was your problem.
Yes, a very interesting kid.
Really interesting kid, really skilled, but fun to be around. When he was at the Wooden Award, I had a chance to spend a day with him. And he is just fun to be around. He's so good with people. He interacts with people. I really believe he's going to be a very good NBA player.
Well, Wisconsin last year, the only team to beat Kentucky.
That's a pretty good win, huh?
10-4, the Badgers. Johnson, tough angle. And rebounded away by Wisconsin and Charlie Thomas. He's a rugged freshman at 6'8". Into the corner, the jump shot on the way, and all nets by Iverson.
And that's a bonus because Iverson's a guy that's attack. He knocks down a jumper. That's good. I think they're 5 for 5.
They are. And on an 8-0 run, Wisconsin has not missed a shot. They open up a 13-4 lead. Gilmore swings it here for Lewis. Got a probe inside. Gilmore with the hook. Rebounded away by the Badgers, and a foul. They'll get Gilmore for that one. Well, Wisconsin catching fire early and putting it on VCU 13-4. So much fun to be in New York City. Wisconsin with a 13-4 lead. Dave O'Brien, Seth Greenberg, and Coach Wisconsin's pretty much getting what they want.
Yeah, they're 5 for 5, and they're getting the ball where they want. What do they have to do early in the game? Get Bronson Koenig going. He knocks down a 3. Post the ball and establish some inside offense. They've done that. And then Khalil Iverson off penetration. Shot ready, knocks down a 3. Terrific early start for Wisconsin because they're not settling, and the pressure is not speeding them up.
So look at the difference between how they started on Friday and what they've done so far in this one against VCU. Night and day for the Badgers. Koenig's such a key to anything they'll do. Here's Thomas trying to get closer, and a miss. VCU wants to get it and go. They want to apply all sorts of pressure. Here's Johnson. Yes! He has tremendous shooting range.
You've got to locate him in transition. When the ball's coming down at warp speed, most teams defend inside out. You defend inside out. Melvin Johnson, he's going to knock that thing down all night long. He might shoot it from Staten Island.
He's on pace to break VCU's all-time three-point record. And he is a senior. Nearly a loose ball, but back over to Iverson, and now an official timeout by Jamie Luckey here. They're going to have an issue with the shot clock. They need to reset. Jamie came over before the game started and said, you know, with 25 rules changes, I'm really glad that Seth is sitting next to you here on this side of the floor.
That's because with the new rules, he thought I'd be right on his ear the whole night. Jamie and I, you either get the good Jamie or the bad Jamie. You know, the nights I got the bad Jamie, we didn't exactly get along. You know what I mean?
Now, he wasn't the only one that happened with, right, in your career?
Oh, I was a kinder, gentler Seth Greenberg when I coached. Kidding me? The crew you had last game, Mike Eads, terrific. He's a Final Four official. Jamie's done a number of Final Fours. Very good officiating crews here. Yeah,
we really have here in New York. We've been very fortunate.
I say that now.
Yeah, sitting here. It's easy for you. The foul will go against Lewis. You're being really nice now.
I don't even know why, because I really don't have to do it anymore.
You're going to get Gilmore for that personal. That'll be his second.
New rule right there. Every time you come off a ball screen, you should just attack that hedge defender and make him foul you.
There have been so many different opinions about the rules, but I know it's something that the committee has been looking at for years. You know, the physical post play, the hand checking, freedom of movement for players without the ball, shucking the cutter and all of that, which needed to be cleaned up. Foul will go against Vito Brown.
And I think they've done a really good job of freeing up those cutters and calling fouls off the ball. But I also think they've done a good job of calling moving screens. Moving screens, when you're trying to free a guy up on the baseline, that guy's got to be stationary. If he's stationary, at least the defender has a chance to get through it.
Shot clock has been reduced from 35 to 30 seconds. The restricted area arc expanded from 3 to 4 feet. Great stop there by Hayes in the paint. Nigel Hayes, and it goes back over to Wisconsin. So a very meaningful block.
Yeah, Wisconsin plays this pack line defense, and it's hard to drive against this defense, and they've got big bodies. So as you watch VCU drive the ball, you can see big bodies contest shots.
Ethan Happ, 6'9" freshman, good-looking freshman out of Illinois. Koenig jumping beyond the three to catch and shoot, and gets it. He knocks back a three-pointer, 16-7 the Badgers. Bilberry looking to answer, stumbling inside. Rebound taken away by Hayes, and here comes Wisconsin. Opening up a 16-7 lead. Koenig again. Boy, he looks like a different guy in this game.
He looks like Grayson Allen. And the thing about Lewis is he's having a hard time playing against these bigger guards. Koenig's using his size to shoot over, create a little separation, use his size to shoot over. Seeing a bigger basket today.
Johnson, that's certainly within his range there, but he wants to get a little closer with a floater. Tough rebound for Charlie Thomas. The freshman's come on to make an impact in the first half for Bo Ryan. Andy Katz mentioned this before we came on the air, that no one's sure if this is the last year for Bo Ryan. I kind of feel like, despite what was said after last year's national championship game, he might very well be returning.
You know, Bo doesn't exactly have a lot of hobbies, and there's only so much golf you can play. I can't imagine looking across and seeing Wisconsin without Bo with those arms crossed. He has a lot of conversations with officials as well.
Yeah, he's been known to. Bilberry, nicely done there, and one. Well, a tough shot there. I can't imagine Wisconsin without him.
He's a coach's coach. He's a guy that loves to teach, and this is a young basketball team. So even though they've been to back-to-back Final Fours, as a coach, this is stimulating. This gets you excited to go to the gym every day and see what you can develop with a young basketball team. It'd be hard for me to look across the way and not imagine Bo Ryan there next year.
And it feels like they're backing away from that whole thing from right after a very exhausting run for the national championship.
Back-to-back Final Fours, you're exhausted at the end of the season.
15th year at Wisconsin. And maybe headed to the Final Four. I certainly think he belongs in there. Once again, the cut there, and all by himself is Iverson.
VCU goes zone. Great job of probing the zone and playing out of that double team.
Bilberry on the drive. He's made a couple of shots like that early on. So 20-11 Wisconsin. With about 12 minutes to go here in the first half. Backdoor cut. And up and in easily for Thomas.
Talking about imposing your will on the game. Right now, Wisconsin is imposing their will on VCU.
Bilberry trying to jump and fouled from behind. He's fouled by Happ. So far, the Badgers getting it done in the first half, 22-11 over VCU. Now the Badgers on top in the third place game, 22-11 over VCU in game one. That was our championship game. It was the Grayson Allen show for Duke against Georgetown. Grayson Allen was terrific. He could put it on the floor, create his own shot. He was great relocating against zones, coming off dribble handoffs. He gets to the rim. He's got a toughness to him. And when they needed him to make plays right there, he sees all five defenders. The MVP, Grayson Allen, very well deserved. Has scored 62 points in the two games here at Madison Square Garden today, a career high, 18 of 27. At the foul line, just about automatic, and from three-point land, 9 of 14. You think he likes New York? I think he likes New York, and all the people after the Kentucky game, and I know it's Kentucky's defense, who were saying, I'm not sure Grayson Allen can handle this role, and there's too much pressure. We're already saying how good he is. He is very good. Even good players have bad games, and good players have bad games when they're the focal point against another team that has good players. Bilberry at the line, 22-12 Wisconsin, and he makes the pair. And no pressure this time by the Rams. VCU last year won 26 games. They lost in the NCAA tournament in the second round. They've been to the tournament 5 consecutive years. Shaka Smart now on to Texas, no longer the head coach. Will Wade is. In the paint, Hayes can't connect. Battle for the rebound, knocked out a play by the Rams. So the Badgers will retain. First year head coach here at VCU, not his first head job, but doing a really nice job, and he's a rising star in the business. Really good teacher and excellent communicator. Stolen away. Here's Bilberry up against Koenig. Tough angle. Burgess with the follow on the other side of the rim. Warp speed. Poor job of Wisconsin getting back in transition. They need to set their defense. So the Rams showing some life on the offensive end in particular. Vito Brown hands off for Koenig. Tough drive to his right. Nicely done for two. (24-15) Wisconsin. Bilberry trying to keep the hot hand going, but not there. They'll get Hamdi Mohammed over the back for the foul. That'll be his first. And here's the Maui Invitational bracket. All games also live on Watch ESPN. Did you bring your teams to Maui? Did you ever get to do that? We never got invited to Maui. We weren't big time enough, but Vanderbilt to me is a Final Four team. They've got a legitimate low post scorer in Damian Jones. They really shoot it, and Wade Baldwin is a terrific player. Indiana playing at a high level early in the season. They got a big showdown with Duke coming up in early December on ESPN. Brown bouncing for Happ. And throws it wildly out of play, looking for a cutter. Last few possessions, VCU's kind of turning up the heat in the half court, really making it hard for them to get the ball to Bronson Koenig, who they need to run their offense. Koenig last season, when Jackson went down with a foot injury, he took over the starting point guard position and really flourished in that role. Turned it over just 33 times with 98 assists. And a cold game on Friday. Shot clock at 15 here for VCU. Swatted from behind out of play by Zach Showalter with a clean block. 43. Zach Showalter doing a nice job. He gets beat. The early help by Vito Brown enables Zach Showalter to get back in that play. Bilberry trying to make a move, and it'll go the other way. The foul will go against Bilberry. So 10-14 remaining. Actually get Mo Alley Cox for that personal. That'll be his second.
Once Koenig gives up the basketball here, watch Brooks right. He's going to then, as much as he can, deny him the basketball back. I call that reading. So you take off the head, the rest of the body follows. He gives the ball up. You deny him the ball back. Now you're forcing Wisconsin to play 4-on-4 without their best ball handler decision maker.
Showalter looking inside. Hayes really asking for the ball as he is battling away with Doug Brooks. 10 to shoot it now for Wisconsin. And it'll go the other way. Foul against Wisconsin.
And I like this adjustment by Will Wade. Instead of having Lewis on Bronson Koenig, now they've got a bigger defender on Koenig. Harder for him to create separation, harder for him to get in the lane.
Koenig heading to the bench after picking up the personal foul. And a 24-15 lead for the Badgers. Wisconsin last year led the nation in fewest fouls, also fewest turnovers as Brooks sticks it. Doug Brooks, the junior out of Lake Wales, Florida, very lengthy, very active guard. Showalter slamming on the brakes. The pass tipped and picked off by the Rams, and here they come. Lewis, he gives it right back as Hayes picks it off from behind.
That's been a problem for the point guards at VCU, making good decisions, being strong on the ball, and playing faster than their abilities.
Knocked free by Lewis, but Wisconsin will retain possession with 9:14 remaining here in the first half. With a very different pace in the championship game, which wound up 86-84 Duke. And both teams shot the ball exceptionally well.
First half was unbelievable. I mean, you talk about some shot makers. But those are two really efficient, good offensive teams with good players and a lot of playmakers on the floor.
Yes.
A lot of guys that could go and get their own shot. I was really impressed. L.J. Peak got to the rim. I thought that the first half Copeland was terrific.
For Georgetown, and one thing we saw, the Hoyas are going to be really good inside the Big East. Shot clock at 5. Half trying to get free out of the double team. It's down to 1. Hayes off the back of the iron. They get it back. Hayes right back at it. Thomas off the tip. He misfires. Well, Wisconsin had all the shots they could possibly want. Lewis hands off. There's Brooks. Airborne, draws the foul.
Mo Ryan's got to get Bronson Koenig back in the basketball game. They cannot get into offense and get the shots they were getting early in the game with Showalter running their offense. They need Koenig on the floor, making good decisions, initiating offense, attacking in transition. Interesting to see if he goes back with Koenig.
He's on a hot hand so far with 10 points. Brooks at the line, drops in the first. Now VCU has been playing from behind, and as if Bo Ryan has been listening in on Seth Greenberg.
I'm happy Bo's paying attention.
Koenig is back on the floor. And number 2 for Doug Brooks. The Rams coaches say he is crazy in a really good way. They love the attitude, and they love what he can do on the floor. Talking about Doug Brooks. Hayes looking to take the baseline, and Tillman fouls him. Florida and Purdue coming up next. Also Butler and Miami. What do you think about Miami?
Miami is really good. This is a senior team. You're talking about a senior backcourt, McClellan and Rodriguez. Tanya Jakiri is a mountain masquerading as a man. Terrific defender. This is a mature team. Jim Larinaga is really good with mature physical teams. They're a top 15 team right now.
Brown dribbled it off his leg and out of play. So he turns it over, and VCU is creeping back in now.
Cumulative effect. They backed off the press, but that doesn't mean you can't pressure. You can pressure in the half court, and VCU's a terrific job with that.
Lewis with an airborne pass. Hamdi Mohammed with a very difficult angle, and a tie-up on the play. The possession arrow will take it to the other end of the floor, and it'll be Wisconsin ball. So 5-point lead for the Badgers, who have led from the get-go, trying to pick up their 3rd win of the season and get out of New York with a victory. Bo Ryan until Friday, and the foul will go against Brooks of the Rams. Bo Ryan had never coached a game in this building, Madison Square Garden, but he was thrilled to be able to do it on Friday.
That's almost mind-boggling to me. When I think of Bo Ryan, I would think he's, it's not like, he is a fossil. I mean, he's been around for a while. He's coached in a lot of places. To think that he hasn't coached in Madison Square Garden is almost hard to imagine.
It is.
But he's well preserved.
You're calling Bo a well-preserved fossil? Is that what you said?
He'll be calling me tomorrow as well.
Maybe at halftime.
I hope he's watching the manager's tape.
Yes. The one without the sound.
Exactly.
Koenig back in the fray, knocks it down, 26-19, the Badgers. Tillman hands off for Lewis. Bilbrey, who's been very active.
Oral Roberts transfer is a really good scorer. He's an attacking player. He's new to the system.
Lewis slicing in, slamming in, and a foul on the play. Going to be an offensive on Lewis. 26-19, Wisconsin leading the Rams in the first half. A look at today's Continental Game Tracks, brought to you by Continental Tire. Well, Wisconsin started out very hot, but they have chilled a bit. 3 for their last 10. VCU's bench has done good work, scoring 10 of their 19.
Yeah, the Continental Track says one thing to me. You back off the press, you sit in the stance in the half court, you put a bigger guy on Bronson Koenig, and all of a sudden now it's harder to run offense. You can still pressure, but not extend full court. And what VCU's doing right now is they're pressuring the backcourt and disrupting Wisconsin.
VCU, of course, plays in the Atlantic 10, and Wisconsin in the Big Ten. VCU, that scintillating run in 2011 to the Final Four when there were so many naysayers that they should even be in the tournament.
They thought my Virginia Tech team should have been in.
Yes, somebody did.
Thanks, Obi.
7:37 to go. You got your own problems with Bo Ryan and that fossil comment, believe me. Koenig off the screen. Let's see if he can heat up again. He started out shooting the ball very well. Thomas off the iron, and a big rebound by VCU. Rams want to get it and go. They will not wait. Brooks launches a 3 and knocks it down.
Brooks is their second volume three-point shooter and a terrific high-energy defender.
He has warmed up, and he has pulled VCU to within 4 at the 7-minute mark. And the foul will go against Tillman, trying to slow up Happ. Ethan Happ, who is the cousin of the Pittsburgh Pirates pitcher J.A. Happ.
Well, this pressure, even though it's in the half court, it's a cumulative effect. It might have to be 1 possession or 3 possessions, but eventually that pressure wears you down because you've got to meet all your passes. You've got to be strong with the basketball. And right now, VCU is pushing Wisconsin out.
Nigel Hayes at the line. Preseason All Big Ten and on some preseason All-America lists as well. 2014, he was the 6th man of the year in the Big Ten. He's a junior now from Toledo, Ohio. And smooth at the line.
Boy, is the Big Ten good. They could get 7, 8 teams in the NCAA tournament, and I'm saying that in November.
Who's the best conference?
I'd say top to bottom right now, I would say it's the Big Ten. I mean, that conference is deep at the top, and it's also deep in terms of the top, throughout the conference. Now, the Big 12 could get 50 or 60% of their teams in a 10-team league, but as you watch the Big Ten, Purdue is really good. Michigan State's good. I know Michigan lost the other day, but they're a very good basketball team. Xavier's a very good team out of the Big East.
Over the top for Ahmad Muhammad. Shot clock down to 9. Johnson took a look at that. His jump shot, he sinks it. That's a 2-pointer. Does not appear it matters how far away he is from the basket. That shot's like a layup for him from that range.
You know, it's a great feeling as a coach when the guy shoots it and you think it's going in all the time.
All the time. Koenig, nice angle, and he drops in 2. 30-24 Wisconsin. The Badgers have had the lead from the outset. Brooks banging on Koenig, and a Wisconsin Badger will pick up the foul. That will go against Bronson Koenig, who came into New York averaging 19 a game, but had only 9 against Georgetown on Friday. He just picked up his second personal foul. So he's going to have to head to the bench, although he does have 12 points.
I'm interested to see if Bo Ryan brings him back if Wisconsin starts to struggle offensively.
Andy Mohammed stumbling in, but draws the foul, and he made the shot. Not sure how he got that to go, using the window, and he'll be at the line.
Talking to right here. Good pocket pass right there by Johnson, and a good job of actually collecting Hamady. He did a nice job of collecting himself and finishing. Will Wade told me yesterday at their practice, it was pretty funny. I said, you know, Hamady's pretty good. He goes, yeah, he's good in games. He's not very good in practice. I said, well, you know what? He's pretty good in games.
There's some players, you've had them too, where the light comes on and they're better.
And the problem is it's hard to coach the rest of your team when you're playing a guy that hasn't practiced well.
Iverson. Brown, the open shooter, and a lot of iron, but it rolls away. Now scramble for the board, and the Rams come away with it. They've closed the gap here, down by 3. Another fight for the rebound, and swatted away by Wisconsin. Charlie Thomas got up high and defies the layup. 5:25 to go here in the first half. It's our third-place game in the 2K Classic. Championship has already been won by the Duke Blue Devils. And some blood here on Tillman. So he will hit the sideline to be attended to, and Brooks is back on. Let's take a look now at our battle for the Atlantis brackets. Paradise Island, Bahamas. Gonzaga there along with UConn and Michigan as far as ranked teams.
Yeah, I really like this Texas A&M team. This is a really talented team out of the SEC. Tyler Davis, remember that name, low post scorer in Connecticut. They've got 50-year transfers, and Sterling Gibbs and Sean Miller, 2 very good players.
Johnson shredding the D, but defied again, that time by Brown. So a couple of blocks on that end of the floor by Wisconsin. Some great defense. 30-27. VCU had a chance on a 3-pointer to tie.
Look how far out that VCU is pushing this Wisconsin offense.
Hayes rolling to the bucket for 2. That was a well-designed play by Wisconsin.
Really good job high-low, and good job of establishing Nigel Hayes on the block, which I think they need to do more.
Andy Mohammed off the backboard again.
He's a gamer.
He has 5 off the bench. Let practice. Who cares about practice?
Practice?
Thomas gives up the dribble. Pass tipped, and now here come the Rams again. Johnson gets an open look, knocks it down. He got himself the jump shot, and he drilled it. Now it's a 1-point game. Johnson with 7. Showalter with a head down. Off the iron, tipped, it won't go. Brown throws it away, looking for Showalter in the corner. He just gave it up.
Melvin Johnson is a unique offensive talent. His ability to take you off the bounce, great. The pressure of the ECU leads to transition. Melvin Johnson, change of pace, change of direction, knocks down the jumper. He's hard to check.
We have 3:52 to go before this first half comes to an end. Wisconsin clinging now to a 1-point lead. VCU's only lead was when it was 2-0. So they've been chipping away all through this first half set.
And they've done it on the defensive end. The ability to pressure the basketball and push Wisconsin away from the basket has created 9 Wisconsin turnovers. That's a season's worth for Wisconsin. So the cumulative effect of this half-court pressure is taking Wisconsin out.
Last year, Wisconsin stripped back to the Final Four in the national championship as that one sticks. They averaged 7.4. Possession arrow will keep it on this end.
And Bo Ryan brings back Bronson Koenig. They can't run offense without Koenig. This is a coach trusting his player to understand we can't play without you. you've got to be smart. Expect VCU to drive Bronson Koenig and put him in either a ball screen or a driving situation.
Playing right now 2 fouls. Hamdi Mohammed wants to get inside that lane, and another foul, and he makes it again. Chance for a 3-point play. He's just put the Rams in the lead. Have to say that for a guy who doesn't practice very well, he plays very hard.
Really good job of facing up. Now you can't use the arm bar, and Hamdi just getting low, and the low man wins in basketball, but this is what you call a bonus as a coach. I'm not sure Coach Wade came into this game and said, yeah, we're going to get to Hamdi. He's going to get 9 in the first half. He's going to attack their bigs, but that's what he's done.
Rebound tipped out high and controlled by Showalter. So no 3-point play by the big fella from Egypt, but he has really given him a lift.
It is hard for Wisconsin to enter into offense.
Koenig, the shot clock down to 10. That's going to be an offensive.
That's as far from a normal Wisconsin possession as I can think. One guy, Bronson Koenig, gets the basketball, and he pounds it the whole possession, gets a small screen. The screen all of a sudden is a moving screen. That is the anti-Wisconsin offensive series.
And we go against Charlie Thomas, the freshman, with his second. 1-point lead for the Rams. Taking on the team that was up by 9 at one point in the national championship game against the Duke Blue Devils. Bilberry knocks one down, and he's been a go-to man in the first half for VCU. They now lead it by 4.
Great adjustment by Will Wade, taking out their point guard, putting the ball in Melvin Johnson's hands. More importantly, getting length on the floor to be able to defend and basically create havoc.
Well, what happened to Wisconsin getting anything they wanted in the first 6 or 7 minutes?
I think they hurt. Look how far they're running their offense, and they can't get the ball reversed. They can't get any flow in their offense.
Koenig on the drive with the dish and stuffed in by Charlie Thomas.
And that's what you got to do. You got to move the defense and then attack the defense once you spread them out.
Approaching the 2-minute mark here in the first half of our final game from Madison Square Garden. Johnson's pass is tipped. A scramble for it. Showalter hit the deck. No foul there as Bilberry lost his balance. Now he's back in the lane to drive. He's had a big first half.
Bilberry comes at you now. He's got a little bit of a city game where he's going to try to get downhill every possession. He's an attacking offensive player.
He has 9 points out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, but also a transfer from Oral Roberts, where he graduated last year. Koenig on the answer, but not that time. Rebound stolen away by Johnson with the quick hands. Once again, Bilberry. And Happ corrals the rebound, knocked away from him by Brooks, and stolen away. Johnson outside the 3 where he's so deadly. A wild pace. This is exactly how VCU wants it.
Basically, we said VCU wants to play at a warp speed. Wisconsin doesn't. Take a look at this wild pace right here. You're talking about a hard-playing basketball team that is in attack mode at all times. Great job of Bilberry running the floor, chasing down loose balls. Brooks, right? He plays hard. He plays smart. This is a very competitive basketball team. And Melvin Johnson, he backs it out, gets them organized. So that they're playing hard. They're playing with a frenetic pace, but they're also taking what the defense gives them. At that possession, they back it out, and they get to the foul line.
Nigel Hayes picked up the foul, but a miss by Burgess. 6'5" guard out of Virginia, blue-collar guy.
His brother played on that Final Four team.
Yeah, his brother Bradford on the 2011 Final Four squad. So VCU up by 4 with 1 minute and 12 seconds before the break. There'll be a foul on the floor. This will go against VCU. They're going to get Jordan Burgess for that personal in the scramble. His first.
Wisconsin tried to isolate Nigel Hayes on that block. Burgess tried to fight around and get to a front, and he caught an inadvertent elbow from Nigel Hayes.
So 1:07 to go. They are looking for a possible elbow here.
See Burgess trying to get around.
Yeah.
Hayes is trying to establish his position. I think that is an inadvertent elbow at best. I cannot see that as a flagrant 1 or flagrant 2.
So the officials heading over Jamie Lucky and Donnie Epley to take a look.
See the swim stroke right there for Burgess as he reaches over the top of Hayes? That should be the first foul. You've got to call that the first foul.
And it appears there will not be a flagrant involved here, as you predicted.
Right here, watch Burgess try to sweep and get around. That's called a swim stroke. That's inadvertent contact. In fact, if the official wanted to, that would have been the first foul, and they should have blown the whistle right then. Jamie and I would have had a nice discussion on that.
I'll bet. So Hayes to the line. VCU with 38 points, and 25 have come off the bench.
Coach Wade's gone to this bigger lineup, putting Melvin Johnson at the point, playing those big wings, which has made him much more active defensively and put a lot of pressure on Bronson Koenig. Early in the game, he's using his size to create space. I expect Koenig to come out right now. Not going to risk him picking up that third foul this late in the half.
And he will come out. And Jordan Hill, a 6'3" sophomore out of Southern California, will be into the fray with 1:07 remaining in the first half. Third place game of the 2K Classic. Duke has already won the championship. And a wonderful game against Georgetown earlier today. Hope you had a chance to tune that in. 38-35. VCU. Brooks to the paint. Off the window with a hard drive.
VCU just went 2 for 1 on that possession, trying to get an extra possession out of this.
Wisconsin certainly had the better of the play early, but VCU is now taking command with a 5-point lead. And a timeout. And a timeout, Wisconsin with 41.3 before the break. And a 5-point lead for the Rams. So Wisconsin will have the basketball here and inbound to Koenig, who's back in, playing with a couple of fouls.
They've got to find a way to get something at the basket or get the ball reversed.
Koenig with a fall away, drills it.
Koenig against a small defender. All of a sudden now, Bilbrey's not on him. Brooks is not on him. So he attacks it. And I expect right now Bo Ryan to go out with a sub. But it's all about matchups. When you're trying to attack a matchup right here, Koenig, he uses his size right there against Williams to create separation, jump up and knock down that jumper. Wisconsin, they needed a basket. Bo Ryan had to come back with Koenig. I expect him to come out now, maybe go with a bigger lineup against VCU this last possession.
They want to win every game, but you don't want to come to New York, come away without a victory. Wisconsin and VCU trying to grab a win, and look at how pretty it is in New York City with the sun off the buildings. Absolutely stunning.
The city that never sleeps. That's about as good as it gets. But you talk about coming and not getting a win, but more importantly, you have to come to this tournament and understand it's 2 separate games, and your approach has to be they have 2 separate games, 2 separate entities. And your team's got to be able to play, because these games for VCU, this could be a great non-conference win. For Wisconsin, it could be a game, not only a good non-conference win, but a game that propels them later on in the season.
And good preparation for the NCAA tournament if you're going to make it. You know, with that day off in
with
between.
the 1-day turnaround.
10 seconds before halftime. Burgess runs right up against Showalter. Here's Johnson. You got to stick to him beyond that 3-point line. He knocks it down. And that's how the first half comes to an end with a flourish by Melvin Johnson with a long-distance triple to make it 43-37. VCU leading Wisconsin. So that's our score at the break of the third-place game. VCU really coming on late and pouring it on with the points. Melvin Johnson from the Bronx loves it here. Now back to Todd, Andy, and Tim in the studio for the Land Rover halftime report, guys. It's Dave O'Brien alongside the coach Seth Greenberg. Outstanding defense by VCU. Got them back in it, got them the lead.
We started the game saying the team that would impose their will on the basketball game and their system would win. VCU, their ability to pressure the ball, push Wisconsin away from the basket. Look how long this entry pass is. That creates a turnover. That's a dead ball turnover. Here's a live ball turnover. When you turn it over live, You create easy offense. Good ball pressure. They do a great job of stepping out on the small screen. Aggressive pressure. They knock it away. 13 points off turnovers for VCU Rams.
We take a look at our first half stats brought to you by TrueCar. Wisconsin led for most of the half, but had 9 turnovers, as you mentioned, in the last 14 minutes.
The cumulative effect of pressure, the ability to pressure the basketball and push Wisconsin out. Interesting to see now how Wisconsin responds.
Koenig with a catch here. He had 16 points to lead all scorers in the first half. Johnson had 10 to lead VCU, and another turnover very quickly.
Ball pressure, long entry pass, and buys time for the post defender to get around.
Johnson whipping the pass for Bilberry. He also had a very nice first half. Allie Cox tied up, and a possession arrow will keep it on this end.
Mo Allie Cox, he'd be a good tight end.
Well, in fact, you bring that up, but NFL scouts have come to their workouts to watch him. NFL scouts want to see if he could be a tight end.
Antonio Gates, Jimmy Graham.
Jump shot for Burgess, around and out. Got a very good look, though. So now Wisconsin trying to surge offensively. Looking for more than just one scorer. Will Hayes, who has the ball now, be that second guy? He flips it up, but also draws the foul. Mo Allie Cox at 6'7". He's already graduated out of Alexandria, Virginia. And might he go to the NFL? Well, here's some guys who played basketball who did it.
Tony Gonzalez, a very good basketball player at Cal, played small forward. Obviously, these guys had pretty good hands. Jimmy Graham's the interesting one to me because I recruited Jimmy Graham. And in high school, he couldn't catch a cold. And now he catches passes that are anywhere and everywhere, but only played 1 year of college football, and now one of the best tight ends in the NFL. And this guy right here, goodness gracious.
And never played above Pop Warner.
It's crazy, isn't it?
But might it be? He said he'd be open to it.
They could have turned you into a football player.
Yeah, very, very small football player with a lot of padding. Burgess on the wing here to Brooks. And the swing now for Bilberry. Came up big in the first 20. Shot clock down to 7. Johnson went to the bank. Mo Allie Cox with a miss. And Happ comes away with the board for the Badgers. We'll see if Wisconsin could get some rhythm going offensively. They've really stalled.
They've stalled because of the ball pressure. You see Bronson Koenig dribbling the ball around
and
as opposed to being able to move the ball in the air. But I think of Wisconsin, I think of beating you on passes and cuts. I don't think of beating you off the bounce. But if the defense pressures, you got to go by your man. You can't go sideline to sideline. You got to go downhill.
They were such a confident team last year and the year before with back-to-back trips to the Final Four. But last year, guys had played with each other for a long time. Brooks with a miss and rebounded away by Vito Brown. So 2 minutes into the second half, Showalter dishing. Brown's jump shot drops in.
Better possession, good quick ball reversal. Brown knocks down the jumper. That's the way you need to attack VCU. I love the big guard lineup of VCU though right now. All 3 perimeter players can drive it, they can defend, and they get to the glass.
The give for Allie Cox and foul from behind by Vito Brown as it looked like Mo Allie Cox was rising up to dunk it. Brown will pick up his 3rd personal.
That last offensive possession, just in general for Wisconsin, Bronson Koenig draws 2 defenders and he throws out, and then you got a 2-on-1 in the backside. But more important, at least they moved the ball. It wasn't one player dribbling the basketball. VCU, on the other hand, that was a terrific offensive possession. Mo Cox at the end of it, but VCU is really running efficient offense. I mean, it's fun to watch them move the basketball. I got a question for you. See Will Wade, that goal tie. You think Shaka Smart left him some goal ties?
I would hope so.
I mean, he can't wear them in Austin.
No.
I think Rick Barnes left Shaka Smart some burnt orange ties.
I would think so, and you know, he had a long line of those. We saw a lot of them over the years because they were always on ESPN.
Who's the U ties?
Grandpa. from what people tell me. Inside, wriggling free for two, and Wisconsin with a strikeout in the interior. Showalter with the bucket and cuts it to 4. Johnson thought about the 3. Bilbrey. And it's off him and out of play. Dribble it off his leg. 17-15 remaining here in our final game. Not the championship game. This is the third place game. Duke has won the title of the 2K. Really fun game against Georgetown. A little bit more fun for Duke today.
I think that flight back would be a little easier for Duke than it will for Georgetown. But Georgetown realizes they're a good basketball team.
They sure are.
And they obviously have improved tremendously since that Radford loss. A lot of pieces on that Georgetown team.
Shot clock down to 4 now. Koenig has to let fly off the front of that rim.
That's an empty possession.
Johnson, dribble drive, left hand, yes. He finished that one off. So the lead up to 6 now for the Rams.
And that's a problem right now. Wisconsin's inability to guard the ball in transition. But that last Wisconsin possession, you've got to move the defense. But right now, VCU is pushing them out, not enabling them to get into offense.
Showalter, Brooks on him. Here's Thomas. Yes, he knocks down a 3. Charlie Thomas coming out of a Division I background. His father, Charles Thomas III, played for Wake Forest and New Mexico. Bilbrey spinning, tied up by Hayes, but they'll whistle him for the foul. He thought it was all ball. He thought he just took the basketball out of his hands.
Defensive transition, the most important thing, you've got to stop the basketball. Showalter's back, try to level him off, buy some time. Melvin Johnson changes direction, finishes with the left hand. Watch, little shake, gets an angle, that's a finish. Wisconsin down 3.
The Rams fans loving it right now on top of Wisconsin, 47-44 with 15:56 to go. And as we went to break, Bo Ryan was hit with a technical foul by Jamie Luckey, the lead official. So Johnson will be at the line for VCU and shooting here to extend the lead.
People think games in November aren't important.
Yeah, look at Bo Ryan.
I think they're pretty important. And I think that's, you never want to get a technical. I don't know whether it's a technical trying to get his team's attention or trying to get Jamie Luckey's attention, but it'll be interesting to see how Wisconsin now responds.
So those were the technicals. Now Bilbrey was fouled by Hayes, goes to the line to shoot his. With 15:56 remaining. 6'4" graduate out of Oral Roberts, who averaged 14.7 rebounds a game as a senior. And able to transfer with that rule to VCU with another year of eligibility.
He's a very good player. He fits their system. You know, the key to recruiting is recruiting players that can play for your head coach and fit your system. He fits the VCU system.
So 50-44 as VCU opens it up by 6. Koenig working on a 16-point game, and that's up and in by Charlie Thomas. He's tough to move in that lane when he gets planted. Nice
job of Charlie Thomas. Good job of Bronson Koenig attacking the basket, not dribbling sideways, but getting downhill.
Bilbrey trying to get the pass in for Allie Cox. He kicks out. Here's Brooks, a three-pointer, and that didn't touch anything. And a save underneath there by Bilbrey, but now tie up on the play. And the possession arrow will take it to the other end. It'll be Wisconsin ball. So now the Badgers looking to make a run. Let's see if the technical against Bo Ryan has an effect. Showalter swings it. Happ has been pretty quiet. In close for 2 and a foul. They'll go to the line.
See that goal? Much better offense for Wisconsin and having good spacing. And when you have good spacing, you create gaps, you can drive the ball. That's one of the benefits of Happ. He's a front court player that can attack a big in a matchup. Really good execution right there. Last 2 possessions, Wisconsin, the aggressor, attacking the pressure defense.
3-point play after the Tillman foul. And it becomes a 1-point game here with 15 minutes left. Wisconsin. Stolen away by Showalter, who's really played some sticky defense.
He's got to embrace that Josh Gosser role of being a tough defender, a leader, a physical guy, and a guy that makes open shots.
Hayes gives up the dribble, back for Koenig. Brooks on Koenig, pretty good matchup. Gets around him. The bounce speed for Thomas. He can't stick the jumper, though. And Johnson is there to grab the rebound. The Rams up by a point. Johnson, too strong, and Happ is there to spear the rebound.
That's a bad shot. Too strong and too quick.
Iverson getting ready to check into the game for Wisconsin on the backdoor cut. Laid up and in by Koenig. And Wisconsin has their first lead of the second half.
And since that technical foul, it seems like Wisconsin is much more aggressive attacking on their cuts, attacking off the dribble.
Bilbrey bodied up by Happ before the shot. Back to that cut moments ago.
If you're going to deny and face guard, what happens is you come off screens, the defender's chasing. You see Brooks chase. He's lazy, a little bit of late. Koenig gets a great, easy scoring opportunity. Terrific pass right there by Showalter. His head is up, and he reads Koenig coming off of that back screen. So really good execution.
Said it's a 7-0 run for Wisconsin since the technical.
Bo knows.
It's not coincidence.
You know, I don't know if it's coincidence. I mean, I think the Wisconsin players are prideful. I think both kind of lit them up a little bit. Sometimes you're yelling at the official, but you're really yelling at your team. You know, sometimes when you get after an official, you're really not upset with the official. You're upset with your team, but you might vent towards the official.
I will say that Bo was doing some venting well before the technical. Foul will go against Brown. Vito Brown with his fourth. So Alex Ilakanen is going to come on now. The big freshman at 6'9" for the Badgers.
I've got good company because I've gotten lit up by Jamie also. So, I mean, stuff happens.
In and out by Bilbrey, and Happ there to grab the board, and we are tied at 51. Whistle and the foul knocked away from Happ. There's a terrific book that is out right now for Wisconsin fans that really encapsulates the last couple of years and last year's magical run of the national championship. It's a great read, great for your coffee table for Christmas time. If you're a Badger fan, you got to get one of these from Patrick Urban. Did a great job on this. Make us believe and make them believe. Whistle and a foul here with 13:20 to go. And the last 2 years have just been amazing for Bo and the Wisconsin program.
They've been magical. And the thing that impresses me most about what Bo's been able to do is he understands exactly who they are and how they win. And they recruit to their system. And players that come into their system, Fred Kaminsky, he wasn't a household name until his junior year. Think about the number of players that redshirt on his Wisconsin roster. So what Bo's been able to accomplish, he's a great teacher. And his assistant coaches do a great job of understanding the type of kid that understands the Wisconsin way.
Hamdi Mohammed with the foul. Showalter to the line. Going into the Kohl Center, and I got a chance to do that regularly when I was covering the Big Ten a couple of years ago. It was one of the great thrills. You go in there on a Saturday afternoon. If you're the opponent, good luck. But it's always packed. It's a sea of red. It's one of the real thrills in college basketball.
Get Andy North to hang out with.
Not sure where Andy was this weekend. I think he was working, but I think that's a poor excuse for not being here. Way downtown, Brooks is too strong. Hamdi Mohammed right back into the lane. The kick out now, and they'll set it up as Brooks attacks. The scoop shot. The second effort, free basketball is going to be knocked out of play by Wisconsin.
VCU needs to have a good offensive possession. I thought they were a little bit rushed those last two possessions. Right now I expect Will Wade to call a set play to try to get the defense moved and get Melvin Johnson a shot.
Well, they need something as Gilmore comes on because VCU is 1 for 10 shooting since halftime. And Wisconsin has grabbed the lead by 2. Bilbrey. Here's Johnson working on Showalter and knocked away. Showalter will lay it in. He finished it off beautifully.
Terrific job. Showalter's really been good defensively in the second half. He's put good pressure on. He's taken Melvin Johnson out. He's done a good job of containing him off the bounce and finding him in transition.
Johnson tucked to his right. No. Hamdi Mohamed right back up and in. Ahmed Hamdi Mohamed, the 6'9" junior from Egypt. Spent his high school days in Texas and Houston. And knocked out a play with 12:05 to go, and it'll be VCU ball here. Koenig back in. And 12:05 left in the fight for third place of the 2K Classic.
Here comes a set play, and I gotta believe they're going to try to get Melvin Johnson on or off the ball.
Burgess determined, draws the foul, and he'll be at the line to shoot two. And Wisconsin on top 55-53 with 11:47 left in the Garden. Wisconsin up by 2 over VCU. Melvin Johnson, their star for the Rams, has 13.
Melvin Johnson, terrific player, but he's a 2-guard. But because Will Wade is going to this bigger lineup, the ball's in his hands. Harder to get him freed up for room and rhythm jump shots when he plays the point. Look for them to eventually get him off the basketball and bring him off some stagger screens.
VCU needs a hot hand. Burgess will be at the line, but the Rams are just 2 for 12 since halftime. And Wisconsin has gone on a bit of a run since Bo Ryan was teed up. They have outscored the Rams 11-3.
And I think it's been a philosophy offensively. Instead of setting ball screens, they're spacing the court and driving the ball and getting to the basket and playing off of that penetration.
VCU is pulled within 1. Hayes trying to kick it back out, an errant pass. Saved right across that line by Thomas. Showalter, second effort, and draws the foul. Well, he's playing with great energy.
He's giving them the intangibles that this team needs, and especially on the defensive end. If they're going to be a factor in the Big Ten, he's got to be able to, someone's got to emerge as a lockdown defender to guard the other team's best guards in the Big Ten, and then someone's got to emerge as a third scorer. And I'm interested to see how this team grows as the season goes along, because the Big Ten Conference is so deep. It's not just the very top with Maryland being preseason #1 or Indiana or Michigan State, but the conference in general. I think 7, 8 teams could go from the Big Ten Conference.
I still catch myself when you say Maryland at the top of the Big Ten. Still doesn't ring yet. It's a very talented team under Coach Turgeon. Brooks reversing field, popped it up there. Taken away by Wisconsin, leading by 3. Backdoor cut again, but it's saved by Brooks. Nice steal there. And down on his stomach for it. Gilmore off the fake. Back up top for Johnson. Johnson with the ball again. The teardrop for 2.
That's a hard shot. And when he's coming up those ball screens, he's easier to defend because you can get a second defender. They've got to get him off the basketball.
Thomas bouncing for half. Wanted that lane. Koenig open. Can't stick it. Showalter again with a big rebound. The dish for half, but in heavy traffic trying to get out of there. Now another scramble for it. He was asking for a timeout. And that's what they get. Wisconsin with a timeout. Did he really have possession of it? He paid the price, I'll tell you that. Wisconsin up by 1 with 10:20 to go. It's our last game of the day from the Garden. It's a tight one. Wisconsin on top 57-56 with 10:20 to go.
And VCU's got to get Melvin Johnson out in the open floor where he can tackle or off screens. When he creates space, he can knock down the three, shooter with the best in the country. Off loose balls, when he's attacking, he can move his defender. Does a nice job of getting angles. VCU is best when they play at warp speed, and Melvin Johnson's a big reason why.
Running the floor there. On the topic of running, you have somebody in your family today who ran a marathon?
We had a big day in the Greenberg family. Ella Greenberg ran the half marathon, and Paige Greenberg went for 3:19 in the Philadelphia Marathon.
No kidding.
Obviously, she got her mother's athleticism.
That's tremendous. 3:19. Now the Badgers with the ball here and clinging to the 1-point lead. Hayes will add to that with a three-pointer. A smooth jumper from the wing. 60-56.
Nice job, Nigel Hayes. Little rhythm dribble. Watch this last bounce. It's called a little rhythm dribble. Lifts up. Defenders gapping him or playing off him. Nigel Hayes has the ability to knock down that three. That's why he's so versatile, and that's why he's so hard to defend. He can shoot the three. He can post up, and he can beat you off the bounce.
He didn't even attempt a three-pointer as a freshman, but he had 101 attempts as a sophomore. He'll be one of their better three-point men. Slithering inside once again is Hamdi Mohammed, who has really had an impact on this basketball game with these three-point plays that he's coming up with.
And coming out of timeout, Will Wade went with this little high-low action. And watch, he opens up that left side of the floor, just rips it, and attacks Thomas. That's really good coaching. Come out of the timeout, getting the ball where you want it, and isolating the matchup.
Can't connect on the three-point play, but it's a 2-point lead for Wisconsin. The Badgers with the ball as we come down the stretch of the last 9:44. Koenig nearly stolen away. Half finds the lane and knocks it down.
Can't overrun that passing lane. I call that false hustle. You run through a passing lane, you put those other four defenders at a disadvantage.
Half really made them pay. 62-58. Brooks. Hamdi Mohammed with a bounce. And no basket. The foul came before the shot by Mo Alie-Cox.
Same exact play that came back to that high-low offense. Tried to isolate Mo Alie-Cox. Watch the inside screen. Cox, a big, wide body. Targets, uses his dribble. And that's a foul.
Fouled by Half. Alie-Cox at the line for 1-and-1.
And for VCU to get to the next level, they've got to be not only turn you over and get easy buckets in transition, they've got to be able to execute in the half court.
Hamdi Mohammed screaming for a foul there, but none forthcoming in the rebound. A lot of activity, a lot of contact. Half. A determined dribble, still on the baseline. Thomas not there. Half did a good job keeping that alive. He really outscrapped everybody. Hayes into the lane, flips it up, and a whistle. He'll draw the foul. We've noticed this going back to the start of this second half, Seth. You mentioned it a couple of times. Wisconsin going into the lane time after time after time.
Since Bo Ryan's gotten that technical, Wisconsin has played this game going at the basket, going downhill, attacking the basket, trying to get in the lane, forcing the officials. That's what happens after you get a technical. If you attack the basket, you most times get that call. And Wisconsin's played better, and they've attacked better. But you know what? They've also got a pretty good whistle since that technical.
Funny how that happens.
That'll never happen for me.
He's missing the second at 63-58. Melvin Johnson, one of the best three-point men in the country, with the ball on high now. Shot clock down to 15 for the Rams. Bilbrey. Alie-Cox now. Shot clock at 7 for VCU. Bilbrey wants to go hard and draws the whistle. He'll be at the line to shoot a pair.
He's a hard-playing, hard-driving player, Bilber.
I got Happ for his 4th foul. So Ethan Happ in some serious trouble now. At 8:10 to go. Vito Brown will report in for the Badgers in a moment. You would assume for Happ. As Bilberry missed the first one. So Brown is on, and Happ will go to the bench. VCU has missed 5 of their last 6 foul shots, but Bilberry hits that. So 63-59 Wisconsin with 8 minutes left. Koenig with a kick out. Here's Brown. He can't connect. Loose ball and picked up by the Badgers. VCU had a chance to go to the other end, but they threw it away. Koenig to the right hand, and it rolls off the iron. Another scrap for it, and a timeout VCU.
This game's getting a little chippy right now. The more that Wisconsin drives the ball, the more physical this game's going to become. And Wisconsin's a team right now out of character driving the basketball. That's how they've got back in this game. VCU needs to answer.
Meanwhile, back in Madison Square Garden, we have 7:42 showing on the clock, and Wisconsin leads it 63-59. They have been relentless going into the paint time and time again.
They're the aggressor right now. You think of VCU, you think of them being the aggressor, but what do? You attack the attacker. And Wisconsin's done a nice job. Instead of getting pushed out like they did in the first half, they're now attacking the defense.
A guy who's been a non-factor has been Jaquan Lewis, a point guard for the Rams. Hasn't played all that much in this game as Brooks will bounce it up top for Burgess. Shot clock at 9 now for VCU. Bilberry with a jumper. Three-pointer won't fall in. So we'll see Melvin Johnson bringing the ball up a good deal of the time.
That takes the ball out of his hands. He becomes a playmaker instead of a scorer.
Koenig working on an 18-point game. Brown commanding the ball in the lane, but they've not been able to get it to him. Koenig well beyond the three-point line. Now the mid-range jumper, and he's got such a great touch.
Really good job of creating separation by changing pace. Shooting a little step back, but Wisconsin right now, they're playing at their pace, but they're not getting pushed out, they're attacking.
20 for Koenig. Johnson shreds the D, and he'll go to the line.
The hardest thing for Melvin Johnson right now is for him to get a scoring opportunity. He's got to have the ball. He needs to be able to give the ball up and use the bigs to create scoring opportunities for him instead of just everything on the bounce where the defense is loaded up.
Thomas picks up his 4th foul for Wisconsin. Happ ready to report back in for Bo Ryan as Johnson is at the line. Top scorer with terrific range, the senior from the Bronx. So Happ is back in. Charlie Thomas will sit. And the senior now is 17. Under 6.5 to play. VCU not playing their point guard Lewis, who's a junior. And another whistle here. He continues to sit. He's only played 9 minutes in this game. He's a starter.
Lewis was a little careless with the ball early in the game. He doesn't put a lot of pressure on the defense in terms of his ability to make shots. And this bigger lineup in the first half especially did a nice job defensively because of their size, pushing Wisconsin out.
4 fouls on Burgess, Happ with a 1-and-1, 6th to first. He had 12 points and 11 rebounds against Georgetown, 6'9" freshman. He was really looking forward to playing here inside Madison Square Garden. He was thrilled to be coming here.
Who's not?
That's a great point.
And it's not Fenway Park, I understand.
For basketball, this is the place. As he put it, the holy grail of basketball. Stolen away by Showalter. He's had a number of picks.
He's been really alert defensively. He's given him a little bit of toughness and some maturity.
6-point lead for the Badgers. Hayes with a fake. Jumping into the lane. He's stripped of the basketball, though. Elvin Johnson now. Can't give him any room around that three-point line. He's one of those guys you really have to pick up at midcourt.
Right there, nice job of switching that ball screen so he doesn't come off that screen, right, able to shoot it.
Bilbrey's layup, but a foul inside the lane with 5:37 remaining. 67-61 Wisconsin. Third place game of the 2K Classic, the championship won by the Duke Blue Devils earlier today over Georgetown. They'll get Koenig for his third foul on the reach in to put Allie Cox at the line. And the 6'7" forward makes the first. So VCU still hanging around, keeping it close with Wisconsin. He makes both.
I look for VCU in the next 2 minutes to go and extend their defense. You could always go back to the press late in the game with fatigue as a factor, especially because Koenig is their primary ball handler, and try to make something happen.
Koenig. And a shove there, and the foul will go against Brooks at VCU. They get Doug Brooks for the personal foul as we take a look at the Maui Invitational bracket. All of these games are also available live on Watch ESPN. Maui about to get underway with the quarterfinals.
Interesting to see how Kansas responds. They're still trying to wait and get Czech Diallo eligible. Bill Self and the athletic department at Kansas has really made a statement yesterday, basically challenging the NCAA to clear this young man. So be interested to see if he gets cleared during the course of that tournament. Indiana is really good. Indiana, Vanderbilt, that could be a 95-93. Two terrific, not good, terrific offensive teams.
And Kansas elected to suspend Brandon Green. So they shut him down for, I believe it was 6 games.
And they're going to miss Green's ability to make shots. Carlton Bragg, the freshman that is eligible, is a 6'8" hybrid forward that can make plays. They've got a very mature veteran team, and I love Frank Mason.
69-63, the Badgers. Bilbrey nearly mishandled that. Shot clock down to 11. We're under 5 minutes to go here. Our last game today, the last game of this tournament. Shot clock down to 3. Heaved up there, but short by Brooks. And a rebound chased down by Vito Brown. Koenig trying to use the screen by Happ. Happ blocked out of the sky by Mo Alley Cox. Here's Johnson racing in for 2. So off the turnover, a quick strike for the Rams.
That's VCU basketball. Aggressive, active defense creates turnover, gives you a chance to create an easy scoring opportunity.
You're going to get Brooks for another foul. Trying to slow down Koenig. That'll be his 3rd.
VCU, good weak side help defense, creates easy offense. Melvin Johnson, one of the best finishers for the Rams.
Bronson Koenig to the line. Too strong on the first one. Four-point game here as we approach 4 minutes to go. Showalter right in front of Johnson. It's been a fun battle to watch. Tried to bank that one in. Rebound tip to Bilbrey. Right back up and in for 2. And this one tightens up. Now it's a 2-point game.
I look for VCU maybe to back their defense up a little bit, put pressure on the ball, but they can't commit foolish fouls 40 feet from the basket. Right now they got to just keep the game in front and keep the ball out of the lane.
Here's Brown, straight on for 2. Big shot for the Badgers and Vito Brown. The step back. Hamdi Mohammed. Off for Bilberry to the baseline. Boy, forced that shot. Heavy traffic and right back up and in. Hobby's had a big day.
He's been terrific. He's really active. Pursues the missed shot. He's got pretty good hands.
13 points and 8 rebounds for him. Hayes, nothing there. Brown picks up his dribble. Shot clock at 6 now for the Badgers. Kanan. Brown wide open. Here's a 3. Brooks high up for the rebound for VCU.
Good solid possession defensively for VCU, forcing a contested shot.
Johnson. Alec Cox, he knows what to do as he slams it in. Tie game is 71. VCU coming to life on the offensive end over these last few minutes. And a timeout, Wisconsin. We're down to the last 2 minutes and 10 seconds of the third place game. It's been a good one. Wisconsin 71, VCU 71. Melvin Johnson now 19 points for the Rams.
Melvin Johnson came to VCU as a jump shooter. He's a basketball player now. He can create opportunities not only for himself but for others. Did a great job that last possession, coming off the ball screen, drawing 2 defenders and making a play. Melvin Johnson, he's turned into a winning player. The ball will be in his hands. At the end of this basketball game, look for him to have a 2-man game with Mo Alley-Cox.
And the ball a lot because Will Wade has effectively benched his point guard, Jaquan Lewis, for long stretches of the game. Wisconsin will check it in a tie game at 71. Koenig has 20. He's leading all scorers. Going up against Brooks. 10 to shoot it now. One-on-one, got by him. Happ, one dribble down with the handoff, and one pass too many, and they turn it over.
Bo Ryan decides to go flat, which puts 4 guys on the baseline, giving Bronson Koenig the floor to get in the lane and make a play. But he's either got to score it or on that pass, that person's got to be ready to catch and finish. Wisconsin,
17 turnovers. VCU with 9. You don't see that very often. You'd flip that traditionally, and there's the teardrop miss by Johnson. Now tie up on the play. Possession arrow will keep it right here, though. The VCU ball.
Good decision by Johnson coming off that ball screen. And what happens is when you commit a second defender, Mo Alley-Cox is in position to get to the offensive glass.
Melvin Johnson loves that floater, doesn't he? It's either that or the three-pointer oftentimes. And a timeout. VCU with 1:36 to go. Tied at 71. Right now we get it back to the studio for an update. Here's Todd Grisham.
All right, thank you, Dave. If you want to see Florida and Purdue, it's the championship game of the Hall of Fame tip-off tournament. It's over on ESPN3 and our Watch ESPN app. As soon as Wisconsin VCU wraps up, Florida-Purdue moves here to ESPN2. Got that, Dave?
I got it all. I'm taking notes. Thank you, Todd. I mean, really precise notes. Well, this has been a fun one. We've had a really nice day of basketball. Duke knocking off Georgetown for the championship of this tournament earlier this afternoon. That was a tournament-level basketball game.
These are 4 good basketball teams, and the Duke-Georgetown game, terrific game, had a lot of ebb and flow to it. This basketball game, it's a contrast of styles, but who would have thought that Wisconsin would have 17 turnovers and VCU would only have 9?
Yep. Hard to believe.
And Bronson Koenig, much more aggressive tonight. He didn't defer. He got engaged in the game right from the beginning.
Brooks off the inbounds. Can't stick it. Rebounded away by Happ. He had good position. And now the Badgers trying to retake the lead in the final moments.
I got to believe they're going to try to get the ball to Nigel Hayes somehow, someway, either on a post-up or off a screen.
Floor spread out. Koenig on Brooks gets the jumper away. Off the iron, it rolls away. And a whistle and a foul on the rebound with 1:10 to go. And that'll be number 5 on Vito Brown of Wisconsin. He picks up his 5th, and he is done. So Brown is fouled out with 6 points. Thomas will replace him. Now look at Nigel Hayes. Nigel Hayes of Wisconsin went over as VCU was huddling up. He went right in the middle of their huddle. And Jamie Luckey went over there and grabbed him. Got him out of there.
That last possession, Bo Ryan's basically saying, Bronson Koenig, this is your team. All right, and you're going to either win or lose this basketball game for us. Go make a play.
Hamdi Mohammed with a miss. Let's take a look at this moments ago. As he walked over to their huddle as if he remembered the Rams. And there was no timeout call there.
He actually leaned in.
Yeah. Well, big misses there, and we're tied at 71 as Hamdi Mohammed could not hit. And they have missed 10 of them on the Rams side.
You've got to get the ball to Nigel Hayes and let him make a play.
Working on Bilberry. Inside, he was looking to make a play. He draws the foul with 51.4 to go.
The last 2 possessions, Bo Ryan put the ball in Bronson Koenig's hands and said, all right, get in the lane, draw a second defender. Down the stretch, Bronson Koenig's a good player, but Nigel Hayes is the guy that has to have the basketball. He can draw a double team. He's a good passer. More importantly, he can finish.
A 68% foul shooter, but can't hit that one. Bilberry picked up his 3rd foul. Burgess is back in. Hamdi Mohammed will take a seat. Hayes just 4 for 9 at the line on this one. He makes the second end to put Wisconsin in the lead by a point.
You're VCU, you can go 2 for 1 right here and get an extra possession.
Both teams down to 1 timeout remaining. Bilberry. Up top for Johnson, one of the better 3-point men in the country. He'll drive it. Mid-range, sticks it. A 2-pointer. VCU their first lead since it was 50-49. And a timeout, Wisconsin. They take their last one with 22.7 to go. And VCU on top by 1.
With the shot clock running down, nice job. We call a flat ball screen. Melvin Johnson rejects the ball screen, does a nice job having a middle game or a pull-up game. You want the ball in his hands. He's their best player. Now the decision is, what if you're Bo Ryan? The ball's going to start in Koenig's hands, but I think you've got to get the ball to Nigel Hayes. Maybe not on the first side, but you've got to isolate him either on the wing or on the block and let him either play out of a double team or attack the basket.
When does he shoot it?
First good shot right now. I think you got to get the first good shot because you've got to give yourself a chance to get an offensive rebound. But one thing, part of the game, Obi, that people don't realize, the most important part of this play right now is the inbound play. Now, VCU has Wisconsin scouted. Do they pre-switch and try to deny the ball to Bronson Koenig? If you're Bo Ryan, do you get the ball to Nigel Hayes right from the beginning of the play and let him attack that matchup right from the beginning?
Well, tonight on ESPN after the Nuggets and Warriors. Stick around for SportsCenter at night. John Anderson and John Buccigross. Guys will break down what could be the game that breaks the record for best start in history by a defending champ. And plus, they'll wrap up the NFL games from Week 11, all on SportsCenter. So 22.7 seconds remaining here in our last game in the Garden. VCU looking to get out with a victory. Wisconsin trailing by 1. And Florida and Purdue is coming up next.
Bo Ryan inbounding with a big player, Ethan Happ, so he can seal the defense and make a play.
Gets it in for Koenig. 17 seconds remaining. Koenig works on him. Koenig wants to drive it. On the spin to the left hand. He got it! 5.9 remaining. Wisconsin by 1. Johnson way downtown, well short. And that will do it. Wisconsin with the victory, 74-73. Bronson Koenig with a tremendous move in the finishing seconds to hit the game-winning shot.
And coming out of the timeout, Bo Ryan wanted to isolate Nigel Hayes on the left block so he could work to the middle. Jordan Burgess did a terrific job of swim stroking, fighting him, getting him off the block. Kanan took with the defensive. Watch right there. Watch Burgess get around and take it away. What happens? Kanan does a nice job of playing off the defense, getting a lane, and finishing the play. Great job of Nigel Hayes occupying, but notice the balance of Bronson Kanan with the game winner. Huge win for Wisconsin, coming back and winning despite turning the basketball over against the VCU pressure.
Well, he's certainly today's NBA 2K16 player of the game. Bronson Kanan with 22 points. None bigger than those last two. Marvelous job going to that left hand to lay it in. A clutch situation. And Wisconsin wins it. A hard-fought victory for Bo Ryan and the Badgers over VCU. And our final score here this afternoon. Wisconsin 74 and VCU 73. Coming up next, Basketball Hall of Fame tip-off. It'll be Florida against Purdue. That'll be coming up from Uncasville, Connecticut. For my partner, Seth Greenberg, I'm Dave O'Brien. Thanks so much for joining us. Wisconsin wins a thriller, 74-73.